My dear, are you looking forward to the winter pleasures of Bath?
I'm afraid I still cannot like Bath.
My dear, that is a foolish prejudice. You were not in very good spirits the only winter that you spent here. You've been too little from home, too little seen by the world, and a larger society in Bath will improve your spirits still further. I want you to be more known.
But my heart sinks at the thought of many months' imprisonment here. For who will be glad to see me when I arrive?
Sir Walter, my dear Elizabeth, Mrs. Clay.
Lady Russell, and my dear, what do you think of your new home?
Let me show you around the house. It is undoubtedly the best in Camden Place. Very superior, I assure you. And everybody is wanting to visit us.
My dear Miss Anne, your sister is so vastly popular. So many calling cards, and even from people we don't even know.
And Mr. Elliot is in Bath.
Mr. Elliot.
His very first object upon arriving was to meet with me and express a willingness to apologize for the past. Such solicitude.
Most pleasantly surprised for Sir Walter. His declining to be on cordial terms with the head of his family has always left a strong impression in his disfavour with me. But if he really seeks to reconcile himself, then he can be forgiven for having dismembered himself from the paternal tree.
He has explained away every appearance of neglect. And as for having spoken disrespectfully or slightingly of the Elliot family name and honours, he was indignant. He who has always boasted of being an Elliot.
I find it strange that after all these years, Mr. Elliot wishes to be well received by my family. He has nothing to gain from it. What can it mean?
I must offer my congratulations, Sir Walter. This is excellent news. I admit that now I have a great wish to see Mr. Elliot.
Oh, he's called upon here repeatedly, and has even dined with us.
He was delighted by the distinction of being asked to dine with us.
Oh, yes.
He thought me quite unchanged since we last parted. And while I cannot pretend that 10 years have not altered his every feature for the worse, he is better to look at than most men.
I believe I glimpsed him at Lyme.
Well, I do not know. It might have been him, perhaps.
You are looking well, Anne. Your complexion is much improved since the autumn.
Thank you, sir.
And how is Mary? The last time I saw her, she had a red nose, but I hope that may not happen every day.
Oh, no. I think that must be quite accidental. She's been in very good luck since Michaelmas.
If I did not think it would tempt her into sharp winds to grow coarse, I might send her a new hat and pelisse. There are a great multitude of very coarse and ugly women in Bath. The other day, as I stood in Bond Street, I counted 87 go by, one after the other, without there being a tolerable face between them.
Oh, my dear Miss Elliot.
Could that be Mr. Elliot? He wants to dine in Lansdowne Crescent. It is possible he might stop in on his way home.
It is him. The very gentleman I saw at Lyme.
My compliments, Sir Walter. Miss Elliot, Mrs. Clay, I could not be so near without wishing to know that you had not taken cold yesterday in this rain, and have taken the liberty of bringing the evening newspaper.
Mr. Elliot, you must do me the honour of allowing me to introduce to you my younger daughter, Anne, and our good friend and neighbour, Lady Russell.
I am charmed to make your acquaintance, but Miss Anne and I have met before. Have we not, Miss Anne, at Lyme?
Indeed. But we didn't have any idea of who you were until you had gone away.
The regret is mine that I should have lost such an opportunity to pay my respects. Well, it will serve to cure me of the absurd practice of never asking questions at inns.
And have you enjoyed your evenings, Mr. Elliot? We are so looking forward to hearing about them.
Mrs. Clay is quite correct. We have talked of little else, have we not, dear Mrs. Clay?
And we talked of you, sir. My friends are anxious to be known to you.
His manners are so exactly what they ought. So polished, so easy so particularly agreeable. But I still cannot imagine why he is so desirous of reconciling with my father.
And my dear, I'm very pleased to see your father and Elizabeth settled so well in Bath. But tell me, what do you think of Mr. Elliot? I must admit that I am most pleasantly surprised. Good understanding, correct opinions. He seems most agreeable and estimable.
Indeed, he seems most sensible and amiable. But, Mum, do you not wonder why he has chosen to effect this reconciliation?
My dear, it is perfectly natural that at his time of life he should seek to reconcile himself with the head of his family. I believe he might have attempted it sooner had it not been for his unfortunate wife. Not a very happy marriage, I'm afraid. But perhaps soon he should be making a second choice, and within his own sphere.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Very well. Time will explain.
She means me, not Elizabeth. When we glimpsed at Lyme, I know he looked at me with admiration and earnestness. But I remember another person's look also.
Father, look at this.
Announcing the arrival in Bath of the Countess, Lady Dalrymple, and her daughter, Miss Carteret. Elizabeth, our cousins.
Lady Dalrymple and Miss Carteret. How are we to introduce ourselves after the unfortunate estrangement?
Oh, my dear Miss Elliot, surely her ladyship should be delighted to meet you.
Oh, if only that was so, Penelope. But unhappily, there was an omission after the death of the late Viscount. We left no letter of condolence.
The Dalrymples closed the relationship, and we have not heard from them since that day.
Lady Dalrymple and Miss Carteret, we must set this matter to rights, Father.
Family connections are always worth preserving.
Indeed, ma'am, and good company is always worth seeking.
I have heard her spoken as a charming woman, and I believe it very desirable that the connection should be renewed, if it can be accomplished without any compromise of propriety. Well, I must take my leave of you for this evening.
And I also must take my leave. May I escort you, ma'am?
It's very kind of you, Mr. Elliot. And I shall call for you in the morning to take you to see Mrs. Smith.
Thank you, Lady Russell. Gracious! Have you get an appointment so soon, Anne? I thought that you could know no one in Bath.
I have heard from my old schoolfellow, Miss Hamilton. She is now a Mrs. Smith, a widow living in Bath for her health. She suffered severe rheumatic fever, which has left her an invalid. I wish to see her. She was very good to me when our mother died.
Oh, an old school friend. No one of importance. Father, how are we to be admitted again as cousins to Lady Dalrymple?
I will write a letter of ample explanation and regret.
I cannot believe I wish my father and Elizabeth to have more pride in this matter.
Indeed, I had hoped more from their own high ideas of their situation in life.
Having never seen them in contact with nobility before, I'm disappointed and ashamed.
Elizabeth! Elizabeth!
What is it, Father?
A letter from Lady Dalrymple.
What does it say? Will she receive us?
She will receive us!
She would be very much honoured and happy in our acquaintance.
Lady Dalrymple! Miss Carteret!
They are scarcely very agreeable.
Indeed, they are nothing in themselves, but as those who will collect good company around them, they have their value.
My idea of good company, Mr. Elliot, is the company of clever, well-informed people who have a great deal of conversation. That is what I call good company.
You are mistaken. That is not good company, that is the best. Good company requires only birth, education, and good manners. My cousin Anne shakes her head. Will it not be wiser to accept the society of these good ladies in Laura Place and enjoy all the advantages of the connection? They move in the first set in Bath, and as rank is rank, your being known to be related to them will help fix your family. Our family, let me say, in that degree of consideration which we must all wish for.
His value for rank and connection is greater than mine, I see.
Well, I certainly am proud. Too proud to enjoy a welcome which depends so entirely upon place.
In one point, I'm sure we must feel alike. We must feel that every addition to your father's society among his equals or superiors may be of use in diverting his thoughts from those who are beneath him.
Well, it cannot be anything but pleasing that he does not like Mrs. Clay.
Oh, my dear Miss Elliot, now that Miss Anne has come, I suppose myself to be unwanted, and I shall remove myself to father.
That must not be any reason indeed, Penelope. I assure you, I feel it none. She has nothing to me compared with you. I insist upon you remaining with us in Bath.
Are you leaving us already, Mrs. Clay? My dear lady, this must not be. As of yet, you have seen nothing of Bath, and we have an invitation from Lady Dalrymple and Miss Carteret to dine with them tomorrow evening. I insist.
Oh, it is agreed, Penelope. You will remain with us. And now, Mr. Elliot has kindly volunteered to escort us to Wilson Street.
I will take my leave, sir, but we'll meet you tomorrow at Laura Place.
Father, I am engaged to spend tomorrow evening in Westgate Building.
And who has Miss Anne Elliot to be meeting in Westgate Buildings?
It's my old school friend, Mrs. Smith. She is a widow and an invalid.
Mrs. Smith. A widow? Mrs. Smith? And what is her attraction? Upon my word, Miss Anne, you have the most extraordinary taste. Everything that revolts other people. Low company, foul air, disgusting accommodations. These are appealing to you. Surely you can put off this old lady until another day.
I cannot put off my engagement with Mrs. Smith because it is the one evening for some time which will at once suit her and myself.
Indeed, Sir Walter. These visits to Mrs. Smith are very kind and compassionate in Anne, and I approve of them wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Mrs. Smith. Such a name.
My dearest Anne, I am no matchmaker, as you well know, but I do believe that there is every possibility that Mr. Elliot intends to pay his addresses to you once the period of his mourning is ended. And if you should be disposed to accept him, I believe there is every possibility of your being happy together. A most suitable connection.
Mr. Elliot is an exceedingly agreeable man, and in many respects I think highly of him. But we should not suit.
To be able to regard you as the future mistress of Kellynch, the future Lady Elliot, and to see you occupying your dear mother's place would be of the highest possible gratification to me. My dear Anne, it would bring me more joy than is commonly felt in my time of life.
That picture bewitches my heart and imagination. Oh, to become the way dear mother had been. To call Kellynch home again.
But I cannot marry Mr. Elliot. My judgment is against him. I cannot be satisfied that I really know his character.
I believe his morality to be weak, although I do not know why.
I distrust his past, if not his present.
He is too generally agreeable. He pleases everyone.
Even Mrs. Clay finds him agreeable, and he holds her in contempt.
He is rational, discreet, polished, but he is not open.
I prize a frank, open-hearted, eager character. A man with warmth and enthusiasm.
My dear Anne, I make no apologies for my silence, for I know people do not think of letters in places such as Bath. I am sure you must be far too happy to think of Uppercross. I am glad you find Mr. Elliot so agreeable, and I wish I could be acquainted with him myself, but I have my usual luck. I am always out of the way when anything desirable is going on. However, I have something to communicate to you that will astonish you not a little. We were surprised to once again meet Captain Benwick of the party from Lyme, and what do you think was the reason? Nothing more nor less than his being in love with Louisa. than marrying Jane's hater. So, there you have it. Overall, not a great match for Louisa Musgrove, but still, a million times better than marrying among the haters. Charles wonders what Captain Wentworth will think, but if you recall, I never thought him very interested in her. I never could see anything of that. Charles joins me in love and everything proper. Yours, Mary M. Postscript! I am sorry to say that I am very far from well. There is a bad sore throat very much about, and I dare say I shall catch it. And my sore throats, as you know, are always worse than anybody else's.
Captain Benwick and Louisa Musgrove. It is almost too wonderful for belief.
The joyous talking, high-spirited Louisa Musgrove and the dejected thinking, feeling, reading Captain Bennet. Their minds are most dissimilar. Where could have been the attraction?
I know. They fell in love over poetry. Oh, the idea of Louisa Musgrove being turned into a person of literary taste and sentimental reflection is amusing, but I've no doubt of it being so.
Well, might Charles wonder how Captain Wentworth will feel?
I cannot endure the idea of treachery or levity or anything akin to ill usage between him and Bennet, or that a friendship such as theirs should be severed unfairly.
Oh, but he is unshackled and free!
Oh, my feelings make me ashamed. They are too much like joy.
Oh, senseless joy!
I don't understand, is it you?
It is indeed, Admiral. How do you do?
Well, now, where are you bound? Can I go anywhere for you or with you? Can I be of any use?
No, thank you. Unless you will give me the pleasure of your company.
That
I'm
I-
going to Mullins to meet my sister.
That I will with all my heart. And I have something to tell you as we go along. But first you must tell me the name of that young lady that I'm going to talk to you about. A young lady that we've been also concerned for. Miss Musgrove, that all this has been happening to. Her Christian name, I always forget her Christian name.
You mean Miss Louisa Musgrove?
Aye, Miss Louisa Musgrove, that is the name. Well, this Miss Louisa we all thought was going to marry Frederick. They've been courting her week after week. The only wonder was what they could be waiting for. But now the matter has taken the strangest turn of all. This young lady, instead of marrying Frederick, is to marry young Bennet. We have it from Frederick himself in a letter yesterday.
I hope there is nothing in Captain Wentworth's manner of writing to make you think he supposes himself ill-used by his friend. I should be sorry indeed if a friendship such as theirs should be destroyed by circumstances of this sort.
No, you would not guess from his way of writing that he'd ever thought of this Miss... Oh, what is her name again? For himself. He very handsomely hopes that they will be happy together. Oh, poor Frederick! Now he must begin all over again with somebody else. We must get him to Bath. There are pretty girls enough, I'm sure. You don't think, Miss Elliot, we should try and get him to Bath?
I cannot be completely easy, but it doesn't seem as if he ever loved Louisa.
Ah, there is your sister and her charming friend. Good morning, Miss Anne.
Good morning, Admiral.
Rain is intolerable. Let us shelter Mullins.
Cousin Elizabeth, I have arranged for Lady Dalrymple to convey you home in her carriage.
How very kind of you, Mr. Elliot.
Unhappily, Lady Dalrymple's barouche only holds 4 people, and Miss Cartwright is with her mother. But I will be delighted to escort one of you ladies home under the shelter of my umbrella.
The rain is a mere trifle. It hardly drops at all. And my boots are so much thicker than Miss Anne's, I should gladly take that walk with you, Mr. Elliot.
Penelope, I believe that you have a little cold already. It will be much better for you to come in the barouche.
And I fancy that my cousin Anne's boots are rather thicker than yours, Mrs. Clay. May I escort you to Lady Dalrymple? Cousin Anne, I shall return in a moment.
Now, why should Mrs. Clay be so anxious to walk with Mr. Elliot?
Miss Anne!
Captain Wentworth.
Time has changed him. Or Louisa has changed him.
May I escort you anywhere, or get a chair for you? It rains a great deal.
Nothing that I regard.
I come equipped for Bath, you see.
I am much obliged. I am only waiting on Mr. Elliot. He will be
Elliot would never return.
Cousin Anne, I am grieved to have kept you waiting. Sir.
Good day to you.
Mr. Elliot does not dislike his cousin, I fancy.
Oh no, one can guess what will happen there.
Oh, he is always with them. Half lives in the family, I believe. What a very good-looking man.
Oh, but she is pretty, that Anne Elliot. I know it is not the fashion to say so, but I confess that I admire her more than her sister. So do I.
And so do I. There is no comparison. But all the men are wild after Miss Elliot.
Will I have the felicity of seeing you at this evening's concert?
Oh, yes, I will be there.
Then I too shall be there. And behold, the sun has come out.
I cannot see Lady Dalrymple.
We are early, dear Sir Walter. I'm certain she will arrive soon.
How do you do, Captain Wentworth?
Very well, I thank you. And you, Miss Anne? I have hardly seen you since our day at Lyme. I'm afraid you must have suffered from the shock.
No, no, indeed I did not.
It was a frightful hour, a frightful day. It has had some consequences which must be considered as the very reverse of frightful. You could have had little idea of Benwick being most involved in Louise's recovery when you had the presence of mind to suggest that he would be the properest person to fetch a surgeon.
Certainly I could have none. But I hope it will be a very happy match.
With all my soul, I wish them happy. They have no difficulties to contend with at home, no opposition, no caprice, no delays. The Musgroves are only anxious with true parental hearts to promote their daughter's comfort. All this is very much in favour of their happiness, more than perhaps. Louisa Musgrove is a very amiable, sweet-tempered girl, but I do consider Benwick attaching himself to her with some surprise. His heart was pierced, wounded, almost broken when Harville's sister died. A man does not recover from such a devotion of the heart to such a woman. He ought not, does not.
You were a good while at Lyme, I think?
I could hardly leave it until Louisa's doing well was quite ascertained. I had been too deeply involved in the mischief to be soon at peace. It had been my doing, solely mine. She would not have been obstinate if I had not been weak.
He doesn't love Louisa. He never loved her.
I should very much like to see Lyme again.
I should not have supposed that you could have found anything in Lyme to inspire such a feeling. The horror and distress you're involved in, I should have thought your last impressions of Lyme must have been strong disgust.
His feelings, and his expressive glance. Could his heart be returning to me?
One does not love a place the less for having suffered in it. Unless it is all being suffering, which was by no means the case at Lyme. We were only in anxiety and distress during the last few hours, and previously there had been a great deal of enjoyment. I've travelled so little, but every fresh place would be interesting to me. And there is real beauty at Lyme, and I find the place very agreeable.
Lady Dalrymple, Miss Carteret. You're accomplished indeed, Cousin Anne, to translate so clearly the Italian into comprehensible, elegant English.
I shall not oppose such kind politeness, but I should be sorry to be examined by a real proficient.
Too modest for the world in general to be half aware of your accomplishments, and too accomplished for modesty to be natural in any other woman.
This is too much flattery.
I have been acquainted with your character for longer than you may be aware of.
Indeed. How so? You can have been acquainted with it only since I came to Bath.
I knew you by report, long before you came to Bath, and have been acquainted with you by character for many years.
He delights in my curiosity, but he will not tell how he knows of me.
Long has the name Anne Elliot had an interesting sound to me. Very long has it possessed a charm over my fancy. And if I dared, I would breathe my wishes that the name might never change.
Where is he? I cannot leave without seeing him once more.
Are you enjoying the music, Captain Wentworth?
I shall not be sorry when it is over.
What has happened? He is suddenly so reserved.
Cousin Anne, will you translate the Italian for us again?
Yes, of course, Mr. Elliot.
I must wish you good night.
Is not this next song worth staying for?
No. There is nothing worth my staying for.
Jealousy? Jealousy of Mr. Elliot?
Captain Wentworth, jealous of my affections?
Could I have believed it a week ago?
3 hours ago.
Exquisite gratification.
But how is this jealousy to be quieted? How is the truth to reach him?
How will he ever learn of my real sin?
Oh, Anne! Oh! You need not tell me you had a pleasant evening. Your countenance perfectly informs me that you were in company last night with the person whom you find most agreeable in the world. Oh! Does Mr. Elliot know I am in Bath?
Mr. Elliot? Are you acquainted with Mr. Elliot, Mrs. Smith?
Oh, I've been a good deal acquainted with him, but it is a great while since we met. I hope and trust you'll be very happy. Mr. Elliot has sense to understand the value of a woman such as you.
Why should Mrs. Smith fancy that I am to marry Mr. Elliot? Who could she have heard it from?
I am not going to marry Mr. Elliot. I should like to know why you imagine that I am. I assure you, in whatever pleasure the concert of last night could afford, it was not Mr. Elliot. It is not Mr. Elliot.
You may depend upon it that all your acquaintance are talking of it. I had it from Nurse Cook here, and she is quite in my confidence.
I've been nursing Colonel Wallace's wife, and as you might know, Colonel Wallace is a friend of Mr. Elliot's.
There is no truth in it, I assure you. You spoke of having known Mr. Elliot well.
That must be how Mr. Elliot had used to hear him.
I have been considering what I ought to tell you.
I think you ought to acquaint Miss Anne with Mr. Elliot's real character.
He is without heart or conscience. A designing, wary, cold-blooded being who thinks only of himself.
He's beyond the reach of any sentiment of compassion or justice.
Oh,
black at heart. He is hollow and black. He has one object, to make his fortune by marriage.
This is why you did not wish to marry your sister all those years ago.
It was impossible then that such a match should have given him wealth and independence.
So Mr. Elliot married completely for money?
He values money over everything.
Whatever esteem he may have for his own situation in life now, as a young man, he had not the smallest value for it. All the honour of the family he held cheap as dirt. I've heard him declare that baronetcies were saleable. Anybody should have his for £50. Nurse Rook, where's the letter he wrote to my poor husband?
Ah, here it is. In the box.
Dear Smith, give me joy. I've got rid of Sir Walter and Miss. They're gone back to Kellynch and almost made me swear to visit them this summer.
But my first visit to Kellynch will be with a surveyor, to tell me how to bring it with best advantage to the hammer.
The Baron, nevertheless, is not unlikely to marry again. He's quite fool enough. If he does, however, he will leave me in peace, which may be a decent equivalent for the reversion. He is worse than last year. I wish I had any other name but Elliot. I'm sick of it. Yours truly, William Elliot.
But why should he wish to be acquainted with us now? If these are his true feelings.
Does not your sister have a friend staying with her? A clever, insinuating, handsome woman, but poor and plausible?
Mrs. Clay.
So Mr. Elliot knows that Mrs. Clay wishes to be Lady Elliot. And, well, if she was to marry your father, then his position as heir would be in danger.
Having long had as much money as he could spend, Mr. Elliot has been gradually learning to pin his happiness upon the consequence he is heir to.
And now, he cannot bear the idea of not being Sir William.
He is determined to marry you, and put into the marriage articles that your father is not to marry Mrs. Clay.
But why do you ask me if he knows that you were in Bath?
Because I want to appeal to him for help. Mr. Elliot ruined my poor husband.
See, Mr. Smith often assisted Mr. Elliot before he was married to that poor, unfortunate woman who was his wife.
He was very unkind to her. They were wretched together. She was a fine woman, had had a decent education, and fell in love with Mr. Elliot. All his caution was spent in being secure of the real amount of her fortune before he committed himself to marriage.
He was disposed to every gratification of pleasure, vanity, and encouraged a great deal of extravagance.
He ruined my husband.
Now, Mr. Elliot has refused to act as executor to Mr. Smith's will, and has been wholeheartedly indifferent to all of the troubles Mrs. Smith has suffered.
I had hoped, my dear Anne, that you might intercede with him on my behalf for help. But as you will not marry him, it changes everything.
I am shocked indeed. Mr. Elliot is an artificial, disingenuous, worldly man. But why did you speak so favourably of him earlier?
There was nothing to be done. Oh, I considered your marrying him as certain. My heart bled for you, but I was willing to hope that you must fare better than his first wife.
I am glad to know all this. It will be more painful for me to be in company with him, but I shall know better what to do. I must tell Lady Russell. Will you permit me to do this?
Of course, my dear Anne. I am grateful to have had the comfort in telling my own story.
Had I not met with Mrs. Smith, I might have allowed myself to be persuaded by Lady Russell to marry Mr. Elliot. I shudder at the thought of the misery which might have followed. Time may have revealed the truth, but too late. It is not worth thinking of. And now, I must acquaint Lady Russell with Mr. Elliot's true character. She will be pained and disappointed disappointed.
And knowing what I know of him, distrusting him as I do, how can I be in his company any longer?
And here is Mary and Mr. Musgrove. They heard of the elegance of our accommodations and the attentions of Lady Dalrymple and could not wait to stay for several days.
Mary, Charles.
Is it not a fine scheme, Anne? Mrs. Musgrove came with us to Bath to buy wedding clothes for Henrietta and Louisa.
We have 2 drawing rooms, Mary.
How delightful. May I see them?
Captain Harville is of our party as well.
And how is Louisa?
She goes on very well. She's very much recovered, but she is altered. There is no more laughing or dancing, no more running or jumping about. Captain Benwick sits at her elbow all day long reading verses.
That cannot be to your taste, I know. But I do believe him to be an excellent young man.
Is this not a fine house, Charles? Most superior.
Oh, most.
Oh, Mary! And Mr. Musgrove. How do you do?
My mother sends her regrets for not joining us on this visit, but she is engaged to spend the morning with some friends.
Of course. Father, the Musgrove party ought to be asked to dine with us, but I cannot bear to have them see the difference of style and reduction of servants for what we know at Kellen's.
They're used to country hospitality, Elizabeth. Well, we do not profess to give dinner to. Very few in Bath do.
Very true. I will ask them for this evening. That will be much better. A novelty and a treat for them. They have not seen 2 such drawing rooms as ours before. They will be delighted to come. Mary, will you join us this evening? And Mrs. Musgrove, of course. It will be a regular party. Small, but most elegant.
That would be delightful. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Lady Dalrymple and Miss Carteret are invited and have accepted.
So gratifying! Do you hear that, Charles? We are invited to meet Lady Dalrymple and Miss Carteret.
Delightful.
My dear Miss Anne, your sister seems hard-heartedly bent on cruelty, for she has not invited Mr. Elliot to the supper party this evening.
When I found how excessively he should regret missing my father this morning, I gave way immediately. For I would never really omit an opportunity of bringing him and my father together. They seem to so much advantage in company with each other.
Quite delightful, like father and son. My dear Miss Elliot, may I not say? Like father and son.
My dear Penelope, I did invite him, you know. He left town early this morning for the whole day, but I am certain he will return this evening.
And we are quite wild to meet him, are we not, Charles? For we only caught the smallest glimpse of him in line.
I will call on your mother in the course of the morning, Mr. Musgrove, with cards for this evening.
She will be honoured, ma'am.
Anne, you really must come with us to visit Mrs. Musgrove. She will be so pleased to see you.
I had meant to see Lady Russell this morning to tell her of Mrs. Smith's knowledge of Mr. Elliot.
Surely a day's delay can be of no consequence.
But when I think of the constant deception he practices on my father and Elizabeth,
It is humiliating.
it is bad enough that Mrs. Clay should always be present. But to add an even deeper hypocrite to our party.
It is the destruction of all peace and comfort.
He is here, with Captain Harville.
What do I feel? The happiness of such misery or the misery of such happiness?
Oh, Miss Anne, how glad to see you.
Are you, Mrs. Musgrove? It is delightful to see you in Bath.
I fear from his looks that he is still persuaded that I have an attachment to Mr. Elliot.
Anne, there is Mrs. Clay, under the colonnade. And, good heavens, Mr. Elliot is with her.
It cannot be Mr. Elliot. He was to leave Bath this morning.
Do come and have a look for yourself.
He is looking at me. If I go to the window, he will think I wish to see Mr. Elliot.
And you will miss them if you do not make haste. They are parting.
It is Mr. Elliot. What can you mean by meeting with Mrs. Clay?
Well, it is Mr. Elliot, certainly.
Well,
he has changed his hour of going, I suppose, or I might be mistaken about his plans.
May I introduce Captains Harville and Wentworth?
Sir Walter, Miss Elliot.
Sir,
Mrs. Musgrove, I come to invite you to a supper party this evening in Camden Place. It will be no formal party, you understand. Just to meet a few friends.
our cousins Lady Dalrymple and Miss Carteret will be in attendance.
Why, Miss Elliot, Sir Walter, that's very kind of you.
I hope you will all join us.
She believes he will look good in her drawing room. But will he accept?
It was quite kind of Elizabeth to invite everybody. I do not wonder that Captain Wentworth is delighted.
I see no delight. I see only disdain on his face. I cannot believe that he will accept this invitation as an atonement for Elizabeth's insolence of the past.
Mrs. Croft is coming to visit us this morning, which I know you will like.
Indeed, I will be glad to see her.
Mother, I offered bespoke a box for the play on Tuesday. I had wished to see the play this evening, but Mary would not hear of it.
Charles, I don't know how you can think of such a thing! To go to the theatre tonight, when we are most particularly invited to meet Lady Dalrymple and Miss Carteret and all of the principal family connections.
Tuesday is much better, Charles, for we had booked for this evening because of the party at Sir Walter's. We should have lost Miss Anne's company, and I know that I should not care for the play at all if Miss Anne could not be with us.
Well, I will go then. And I wish to call in on the gunsmith, Mary, so I know you will not wish to join me.
Always the gunsmith, isn't it, Charles?
Well, if it depended only on my inclination, the party at home would not be the smallest impediment. I should be too happy to change it for a play and with you.
How can you talk so, Anne? We are invited.
Mrs. Croft here to see you and Mrs. Charles Musgrove, Mum.
Oh yes, we shall come directly.
I will write that letter we were talking about.
He is writing a letter about a picture that Bennett set for at the Cape. It is to be properly framed. It was for my sister, but another is to have it now. My poor sister. She would not have forgotten him so soon. It's not in her nature. She doted on him.
It would not be in the nature of any woman who truly loved. We certainly do not forget you as soon as you forget us. It is perhaps our fate rather than our merit. We live at home, quiet, confined, and our feelings prey on us. You are forced on exertion. You always have a profession, business, pursuits of some sort or other to take you back into the world immediately.
I will not allow it to be more man's nature than women's to be inconstant, and to forget those that they love or loved. I believe the reverse. As our bodies are the strongest, so are our feelings.
Your feelings may be the strongest, but ours are the most tender. Man is more robust than woman, but he is not longer lived. You have difficulties and privations, dangers enough to struggle with. You are always labouring and toiling, exposed to every risk and hardship. It would be hard indeed if a woman's feelings were to be added to all this.
Well, Miss Elliot, I suppose we'll never agree upon this point. No man or woman would, probably. But if I could make you comprehend what a man suffers when he takes a last look at his wife and children before a long voyage, and then turns around and says, God knows if we'll ever meet again. And then if I could convey to you the glow of his soul when he does see them again. If I could explain all this to you.
God forbid that I should undervalue the warm and faithful feelings of any of my fellow creatures. I should deserve utter contempt if I dared suppose that true attachment and constancy were known only by women. No, I believe you capable of everything great and good in your married lives. All the privilege I claim for my own sex, and it is not an enviable one, you need not covet it, is that of loving longest, when existence or when hope is gone.
You are a good soul. There's no quarreling with you.
Harville, when you are ready, I shall Be at your service in half a minute.
We must take our leave. Good morning.
To Miss A.E. He's been writing to me all this time.
I can listen no longer in silence. I must speak to you by such means as are within my reach. You pierce my soul. I'm half agony, half hope. Tell me not that I'm too late, that such precious feelings are gone forever.
Dare not
I offer
say
myself
that man
to you again.
forgets sooner than woman.
With a heart even more your own
Dare
than when
not-
you almost broke it 8 years and a half ago.
Dare not say that his love has an earlier death.
I have loved none but you. Unjust I may have been, weakened, resentful I have been, but never inconstant.
For you alone I have come to Bath.
For you alone I think and plan. Have you not seen this? Can you fail to have understood my wishes?
Had I waited even these 10 days, could I have read your feelings?
I can hardly write. I am every instant hearing something which overpowers me. Oh, you do us justice indeed. You do believe that there is true constancy and detachment among men. Believe it to be most fervent, most undeviating. In F.W. I must go, uncertain of my fate, but a word, a look, will be enough to decide whether I enter your father's house this evening or never.
Miss Anne?
Mrs. Musgrove, I must take my leave. I believe I am indisposed.
Oh, of course, my dear. You must not go alone. Charles will go with you.
Most willingly, but there is a fellow I wish to visit in Market Place. He has a gun I would like to see. By his description, it is a great deal like that second-sized double barrel of mine.
Dear Mrs. Musgrove, will you be so good as to mention to the other gentlemen that we wish to see their whole party this evening? I believe there has been some mistake. And I wish you particularly to assure Captain Harville and Captain Wentworth that we wish to see them both.
To be sure I will, my dear, if you wish it. Well, go home directly and take care of yourself.
Ah! Wentworth! Are you going near Camden Place? Will you give Anne your arm? Capital! She must not go so far without help, and I am engaged to see a fellow about a gun. By his description, it is a great deal like that second-sized double barrel of mine.
Every word I wrote was true. I have loved none but you. You have never been supplanted.
And Louisa Musgrove?
I discovered too late that I had entangled myself. I was considered by Harville an engaged man. And precisely as I realized that I did not care for Louisa at all, I was hers in honor, and if she wished it. I lamented the blindness of my own pride and blunders of my own calculations, till I was released from Louisa by the astonishing intelligence of her engagement with Benwick. It was only at Uppercross that I had learned to do justice. Only at Lyme that I had begun to understand myself. Was it unpardonable to think it worth my while to come to Bath and to arrive with some degree of hope? And then the doubt, torment of seeing you with your cousin, which was only vanquished when I heard you talking with Harville.
yielded. I believed it to be to duty. Had I done otherwise, I should have suffered more in continuing the engagement than I ever did in giving it up, because I should have suffered in my conscience.
Tell me, if when I returned to England 2 years later with a few £1,000, if I had then written to you, would you have answered my letter? Would you have renewed the engagement then?
Would I?
Good God, you would. I was proud. Too proud to ask again. They closed my eyes and would not understand you or do you justice. Six years of separation and suffering might have been spared.
There is nothing to distress us now. And I will glory in being a sailor's wife.